Hi everyone, welcome to Can't Think Straight Season 7. I am so excited to have you all here. As you can see, I'm not Jenna. There's a new sheriff in town. You may remember me from last season's finale, but for those who don't, I'm Nick and I'm the producer of Can't Think Straight. Don't worry, I'm a fun guy. I even have jokes. Why do people use she, her pronouns? Because if she used her, she, she'd be chocolate.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Alright, well I thought that would land better, but while we're on the conversation about jokes, that brings me to the theme of today's episode, queers in comedy. Let's get right into headlines. English Teacher is a new FX dramedy that premiered on September 2nd, 2024. It follows the life of Evan Marquez, a queer English teacher at a high school in Texas. Bryden Jordan Alvarez, who I immediately recognized from Jane the Virgin, plays the lead. He is also the show's creator. If this show interests you, you can watch it on FX every Monday at 10 p.m., or you can find it on demand on both Hulu and Disney+. For Saturday Night Live fans everywhere, there's a new documentary on the horizon. Will and Harper follows Will Ferrell and Harper Steele as they take a road trip around the country. The two became close friends when they worked together on Saturday Night Live and reconnected when Harper came out as a trans woman to Will. The film premiered at the Sundance Film Festival on January 22, 2024, and is out on Netflix as of September 27, 2024. While we're on the concept of documentaries, check out Outstanding, A Comedy Revolution. This film takes a deep dive into the history of LGBT stand-up comedy and its importance for the path to acceptance. Some amazing comedians like Wanda Sykes, Scott Thompson, Lily Tomlin, among others feature in the film. In a medium that has often been used to poke fun at the LGBTQ+ community, it was beyond refreshing to see the community being lifted up in laughter. You can find this movie on Netflix. Lastly, there has been a huge victory for queer representation on television in Japan. The Boyfriend is a new Love Island meets Big Brother style reality show that features a group of 9 men who live under one roof. It is the first same-sex dating program to ever air in the traditionally socially conservative country. While Season 2 hasn't been confirmed just yet, the show is rated quite highly after just one season, so hopefully we can hear more about this landmark show soon. Continuing a funny theme in these headlines, you can also find the show airing on Netflix. That's plenty of news for one episode, so let's hear from Kennedy on a very comedic edition of Crash Course.
What once were rows of crops are now hallways for growing our future. The old ways that served generations before are now the perfected paths of tomorrow. These mountains have always called to the pathfinder, the trailblazer, the innovator. The faces and structures may change, but one thing remains constant: access to higher education, here and always at App State.
Hey gang, welcome to Crash Course. I'm your wee little host, Kennedy Madron, and we have a bit of a unique little topic today. But first, let's break the ice with a couple cute little queer jokes. So the first one, how does a non-binary ninja kill their target? Any guesses? Any guesses? Do you have a guess? Oh, I'm gonna tell you the answer. They slash them. That's a knee slapper right there, son! All right. What about this one? Okay, ready? What did the trans mask person say after getting top surgery? Well, I'm glad I got that off my chest. Okay, you don't have to hear any more of my cute queer dad jokes, but if given the chance, I'm going to tell a corny joke. That's just like how it is, so you might have to bear with it for the rest of this season. But anyways, I'm sure you're wondering what the heck we're talking about, why I'm telling all of these cute, cheesy little jokes. So without further ado, we will be talking about comedy and its relationship with the queer community. So let's learn a little something. Comedy in the queer community has had a complicated and integral relationship in many separate forms of media, such as films, TV shows, literature, and stand-up. And many shows and movies would make subtle and not so subtle stabs at non-heteronormative ways of life for the sake of this comedy. And sadly, that meant that this was the only way to see queer representation, and it was actually through this comedic ridicule. When we see these types of jokes laid out, we recognize two separate ways of interaction: the action of laughing with versus the action of laughing at. When this idea of laughing at is introduced into comedic spaces, dangerous effects start to form. You see, when we begin separating people into two separate categories of subject versus object, we begin forming an us versus them mindset. The spectator, or subject in this case, is watching a show, and then sees a queer person ridiculed for comedic effect. The queer person then becomes the object, and is thus separated from the subject/spectator. This then allows dehumanization to enter into not only this comedic context, but also to homes of those watching the show, which transforms into homophobia, which can then lead to hate or violence. But thankfully, there's always another side to a story. Comedy is not all bad, of course. Laughing and joking is deeply part of our human experience, and many times it's how people cope. Laughter is often the best medicine, because we often see humor used to get through traumatic experiences and grief. Laughter is often the best medicine, because we often see humor used to get through traumatic experiences and grief. And that's exactly why the queer community uses comedy to ignite shared experiences via marginalized humor, which satirically pokes fun at the current social and cultural systems and dynamics. This allows people to find themselves in humanity's story and consider the possibility of transformation, continued connection, and education. And as our society matures, so does comedy. Comedy for those in the queer community is not only about those shared experiences, but it also becomes about the deconstruction of gender and sexuality and can be used as a tool for political criticism, which in turn opens up a discussion about progression and change. Humor and comedy are so deeply important to the growth of humanity. It can be used to highlight the many different ways of living, discussing assumptions, empowering individuals, and establishing the importance of quality representation. But we also must recognize that poorly timed and poorly thought out jokes can also be the very thing that erodes the safety of marginalized communities. That's why it's so important to make sure that comedy is being used to better the world, discussing assumptions, seeing the differences as important, and allowing the shared need of laughter to heal rather than harm. Well, that's all I have for you today, so go out there, spread some joy, love through laughter, and I'll see you next time on Crash Course.
Kennedy, that was awesome. Thank you for imparting your wisdom on us once again. In the spirit of laughs, there's one segment I'd like to bring back. For those of you who watched last season's finale, there's a fun little segment we did to introduce me to all of you. The Wheel of Mind Contortion is coming back. Let's get right into it.
Hi everyone, I'm Olive.
Ariana.
And I'm Madison.
We're hosting the Wheel of Mind Contortion, a list of silly topics that we're going to give our feedback on. Let's get right into it. Oh, what would your drag name be? Okay, my drag name is going to be Nostalgia McBling.
Yeah.
I have been set on this for months, so if I have a drag show, look out for Nostalgia McBling, because that's going to be me.
Debuting in a month.
Yup.
Within the next month. Stutter McStutterson is my drag name. Cause, you know, sometimes people just have a really hard time speaking. And by people, I mean me. It's just me. She's debuting Never. She's really, you know, shy and to herself. You.
As is my birthright, my drag name would be Madison Avenue. It was built in. My mom named me good.
An original.
Yeah. Okay.
An original.
No, that's so poetic. That's so poetic.
I'm sorry. I need to fill the silence in between. Someone offers me what?
Someone offers you $1 million a year to spend 5 years on an island. You have to complete each year in full to receive each million. You can bring one person. Who are you bringing?
You.
You're bringing me?
Yeah.
I'd bring you.
Yes!
Yup. Okay, who would you bring?
That's a tough question.
You can also bring one of us.
I think I'd bring my mommy.
Aww.
Sorry, y'all.
Aww. That's so sweet. No, that's so valid, though.
Yeah.
That's so valid. How many chickens would it take to kill an elephant?
What?
2 at least.
2 at least.
2 at least.
How
big of is the chicken are we talking about, and how small is
Oh,
the
like those genetically modified, like huge chickens, or like the little
I'm
cute
just thinking
ones?
like a freak chicken.
You're thinking of freak chicken?
Yes, a freak chicken.
Okay.
How many freak chickens would it take to kill an elephant?
Well, that depends on how big they are.
Yay big.
How freaky is the chicken?
About yay big, and about yay freaky.
See, okay. Think of it like mega freaky chicken, probably like 1.
Mega freaky chicken.
It depends on
Yeah.
their level of freak,
Yeah.
I fear.
Mega freaky. 1 mega freaky chicken
One-
versus 1 elephant.
Yep. 1 normal elephant.
Astronomical. All right, we've gone through that question, and
We've
I'm glad we
debunked
answered
it.
it.
Solid
scientifically.
answer.
Yep. What is the dumbest injury you've ever had, and how did it happen? Oh, you have a great
Wait.
story for this. I know you do.
So one thing about me is I never get injured in like a way that's like I was in a soccer tournament and a girl came up to me and she like took my leg out. It was, there was this one time in high school where I was at a friend's party and they had a foosball table, and I love foosball. And so I was playing so hard, like I was spinning it so hard that the next day I bruised my like my fingers were bruised, like they were swollen because I had foosball so hard, and I was serious about this. And did I win? Yes, I did. And was it through, you know, intellect and like strategy? No, it wasn't. It was through pure force and willpower that I bruised my fingers, and the next day I was like, guys, I don't think this is what's supposed to happen. And that's probably the dumbest injury I've ever gotten.
Well, that was our Wheel of Mind Contortion. Thank you guys for watching us react to these mind-contorting topics. Back to you, Nick.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you, beautiful people, for tuning in to my first episode in the producer chair. We have an exciting season ahead, and I cannot wait to spend it with all you guys. Stay silly, everyone.
Knee slapper. I'm not supposed to say.
Bruh, I didn't even do anything.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to the crash course. Okay.